we start compiling the Google Drive folder. All right, this actually, Ariel, this is a very good, this would be a very good find them session as well too. Is like one whole session on like what do we put in the Drive folder. And then we basically, it's like everything that you need in order to make a decision on whether or not this deal is good goes into this folder. Okay, and I won't go in deep into that now, but I mean, essentially, like, you know, you need to like all the information that you need in order to run deal analysis is going to go into that folder. And then also something like, you know, like we use regrid, or we use like, you know, how are the boundaries? What does the competition look like? Because you have to do a competitive analysis. What do the demographics of the area look like? You know, this kind of stuff, right? So all the things that you need is that you need in order. Oh yeah, it's all right here. I'm not saying right here. So county information, competition, deal analyzer, executive summary, video summary, regrid, maps, street view of the property, radius. Right. So all this kind of stuff here, you'll funnel it into the Google Drive folder, and then this will, like, everything that's in that folder is what you would need in order to make a decision on whether or not it's a good deal. And guess what? It's everything that a lender needs as well too. Oh, and outside of like tax returns and stuff like that. So tax returns, P&L, and balance sheet. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so everything that you need. And also, like, if you were going to wholesale a deal, it'd be everything that like the buyer for the wholesale deal needs as well too. So that's like the next step, is putting everything into the Google Drive report and getting all the necessary information. All right, and then you got to start work. Then you got to analyze the deal. Right, and then you got to analyze the deal. Whatever deal analyzer that you can use any deal analyzer. It doesn't have to be mine, but you have to use a deal analyzer that can run commercial deal analysis for storage facilities. That's what you need, right? And so then you're going to start really looking at, like, you know, what's the vacancy, what's the unit mix, what's the square footage, what's the purchase price, you know, what does the competition look like, and do the competitive analysis. What are the unit mixes, and what's the price per square foot as is, and then what can you take it at? What's the value at, right? How much if you can take it from 50 cents to 65 cents, or 32 cents to 70 cents, or whatever it is, you need to be able to show that, and you need to run numbers on that. And that's really what the deal analyzer is. The deal analyzer is it will show you the complete, visual outlook of like the property. Right? From now and then also into the future. That's what the deal analyzer is for. Okay. And let's see. And then you review the deal, right? And so then you look at the deal and say, okay, is this deal good or not? Well, this is what they do. They reveal it. We look at the deal and say, this is a good deal. Should we put an offer in on this? Or what should the offer? What should the offer be? Right? This is where you're making the offer. All right, and when we make our offer, we send over, and actually this is something I'm going to talk at ISS as well too about, but we send over, like, what do you give an owner when you're making an offer? And I'm going to tell you, calling up and saying, hey, I'll give you 700 grand is not the way to make an offer, right? Or emailing your offer and then just say like, hey, I'll just pay 700 grand or whatever, right? You want to have like your offer letter. Plus, you want to have like 4 different ways that you can, on your offer. And you want to have something that like shows the owner, why did you come up with this number? Right? Like how did you come up with this? And then you also want to have some sort of credibility, to them, right? And so we send over something that's like, this is Stacy Rossetti, and this is all the stuff that she's done. And you take a look at this. You take a look at her and see what she's about. Take a look at the the numbers, how we ran the numbers right here, and this is our offer, right? So that's like our whole set, the whole set. Okay, so it's not just like, oh, send over a text message or email or whatever, because your job is to convince the owner to sell it to you. All right, that's your job, right? And so, that's kind of hard, so the more credible you are and the more you have it together, the more you seem like you know what you're doing, then the more likely the owner is going to want to talk to you. And what I do too is when we send over the offer, we always try to get them to meet me on Zoom. Like if you, hey, like here's our offer. Stacy says, like, let's meet on Zoom and discuss it. Or like if you don't want to meet on Zoom, let me know. We could get you on Stacy's calendar and she could give you a call. All right, so we call, and they always email over and and then they also make sure that the owner gets the offer, right? Because it's happened before where like you send over an offer and then you never hear anything back. You're like, okay, they ghosted me. But then the truth is, like, they never got the offer. It's like they just got lost in all their emails or something. Okay. So that's kind of what that is. And then finally you get it under contract. All right, finally you get it under contract. And then guess what? Once you get it under contract, then the fun starts. You move on to the onboarding process. And we'll go over the onboarding process in the running portion is we'll go over all the steps that you do that during the onboarding. But you want to get it under contract. So that means you got to get the contract done. And it's a whole and just going back and forth. And that just kind of sometimes it's easy and it gets done immediately. And sometimes it goes back and forth. Like the one that we just did in Arkansas, it took like a month to close that thing because they got their attorney involved. And you know how attorneys are, they just get in there and it's like, it was a 2-page contract and now it's a 20-page contract. And so that one took forever. But then we have another one that we just got under contract in Utah. And the owner, wait, I said, can we just send this over in DocuSign and you sign it? He said, yeah, sure. So we sent it in DocuSign and he signed it and it was done like in a day, so so that's just kind of, so that's the whole process as well. But so that's the process that the VAs go through. That's the finding them all the way up to the funding them. I talked a little bit about the funding them today, right? I told you some of my stories on how we do stuff. And then the running part, we'll talk about that in the last week of January. And I could either do onboarding or I could do whatever you guys want. If you got to use some suggestions, we could do that as well too, on the running part as well too. But that's basically in a nutshell, that's self-storage investing 101, how to get started, how to get into what you need to be doing in order to get started right now. And getting started right now is obviously figuring out how you're going to find them. Are you going to go to Google Maps? Are you going to go to Craigslist, LoopNet? Are you going to build your own list?